We are going to welcome to the stage Miss Piper Tackett from Hellstern Middle School.
What makes you different? It could be your hair or your eyes, but let's look more closely at it. Let's say you're in school and you keep getting bullied for eating something like sushi. That's not cool, is it? Today I'm going to be covering some very important topics: bullying and how teachers can help it, disorders, and I want you guys to leave this room knowing that your differences don't define you. Bullying. Did you know that according to Bully Facts, verbal harassment accounts for 79% of bully instances? I knew this girl that in kindergarten to third grade, she was verbally bullied for having movement disorder. She was looked at and commented on. It's always better to ask than to judge. Yes, it gets annoying after so many questions. But when you choose that over being looked at and judged? She fell into depression due to bullying and stress. Then something saved her. It was that she moved schools and met some amazing friends. Her friends barely even looked at her because of her twitches and her movement disorder. She didn't get strange looks or nasty sides anymore. That girl was me. Your differences. I don't like it when people think of only their differences, when you could have so much in common with a lot of people. And a lot of people don't really look at how much in common they have. They just think, oh, well, she's outgoing and I'm shy. But people need to understand that you're more than your differences. You have so many things in common with the person in front of you. If you look really deep, and some people don't even recognize it. It's so odd. It's so odd how? Because whenever I was younger, I would naturally look at the differences. But now, I'm sitting here on stage, and I want you to know that we need to start teaching people to look at the commons. Ginny Romini once said, "Don't let others define you. You define yourself." And if you define yourself in a positive way, you will have a positive outcome. Nearly 1/3 of middle school students have been bullied in the classroom. Most teachers think it's just simply joking or playing around. And the students that get bullied thinks it's because they're different. No. It's because the bully themselves thinks they are different, so they make you feel different when the truly similarities between people is that everybody's different. A lot of my bullying was verbal and not very physical. And it's a lot for most bullying. Whenever it's physical, it is quite obvious. And verbal is the ones that can hurt the most, because it is the certain words and the tone you use that can hurt. According to Bully Prevention Center, 22% of people report being bullied in the classroom. This is a tragic and severe problem in schools. 15% of bully victims became depressed at 18 years old, compared with those 5% who hadn't been bullied. Even kindergartners are getting bullied. Yes, that's right. 5 and 6-year-olds are getting bullied and treated differently. So, what can teachers do to help? I recommend for teachers is if you see someone looks upset or angry, then you might want to talk to them, because that upset and angry can be lashed out on anyone in the room at any time or in a different room. At any time, so I think that's one of the main things. It's definitely, if you see a kid that looks in distress, make sure you check up on them. Because a lot of people think, oh, they're just having a bad day, or they're just tired. But that tiredness or that bad day can turn into bullying kids. Friend groups are the are important because you have a lot of people building you up. I had no one to build me up. I had a lot of people taking me down. Movement disorders. The definition of movement disorder is a neurological condition that causes problem with movement. There might be certain movements that you see less and movements that you see more. There's main movements that people have, and then there's uncommon movements that sometimes happen. And a lot of the main was that it was just overstimulation of that movement disorder. And it causes you to go into this panic state where you're basically just doing the same movement over and over again, making different noises. And that just happened a lot in my state because I was getting bad anxiety with my friends and falling into this attack pattern. It was just my mind in the panic state. And your mind controls all of your body. I think one thing I learned is that if you can calm it down, it's not as bad as it usually is. If you can calm yourself down, it's going to be way better. And the best thing is just think of good times. Don't think of how you're panicking. Don't think about how you're doing all this certain stuff because you're going to want to, because it's abnormal. And you don't really know what's going to happen next, but most tics, if you keep looking on the bright side, it will barely affect your mental state. That's one of the things I really want to tell you guys, because I know a lot of people don't know how to control these attacks. And it really messed me up, but one thing I do now is take a nice shower. It helps soothe your body. If someone in school asked me about what's going on, I will definitely explain to them because I want them to understand why I'm doing this so that they're not curious and they typically act quite confused. This is because some schools don't teach people about different disorders and disabilities. 1 in 6 kids have mental disorders. Most of these kids get bullied. We need to teach these kids and make them aware of these disorders. People are people. It doesn't matter if you have blue eyes. It doesn't matter if your IQ is 85 or 115. To the people that have disorders or disabilities, they do not define you. So, if you're going through the same thing, look back. You made it this far, you can make it farther. To sum it up, if we encourage people to look back at what they have in common instead of looking at their differences, encourage teachers to be more proactive in recognizing signs of verbal bullying, and are empathetic with people we interact with, we can definitely improve. Thank you for being a lovely audience.